Hey Jammers, today I'm going to tell you about everything I learned at NOAA, or the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. I missed the aquarium last week because I was on a conservation trip with Gills Club and we were learning about sharks, and we visited a bunch of cool places, including the NOAA lab on Rhode Island, which is what you'll be learning about today. NOAA is the official government program that protects the ocean and does marine biology and stuff like that. So cool. As we were driving in, we saw all the signs that were like U.S. government property, no trespassing. So first we started in the conference room. This is where our guide told us a lot about their citizen science shark tagging program, which is actually the longest running citizen science program. And they're not high-tech tags like Atlantic White Shark Conservancy uses, but they're like a little cylinder with a color and a number. And they'll be inserted right below the dorsal fin. And so if a fisherman catches a shark, they'll put a tag on it, and then if that shark is ever recaptured, they'll record where it was recaptured. The sticker kind of explains it pretty well. So you can look at that. And then you can see in the image, a shark will be tagged, and then it might be picked up somewhere completely different. This is very interesting. And there is a little slip of paper inside of the tag, so the person who recatches it can report it back to NOAA. Then we learned about how they do some of their dissections if the animal is too big to bring back to the lab. For example, a basking shark, they'll just do all their work right there on the beach. And then if they can bring it back, they'll bring it back to a place called the wet lab, which we will get to later. Conference room, we went to our guide's office, which had a bunch of cool stuff. It had lots of different shark jaws, which is very interesting. It had a ton of other stuff too. There was some shark vertebrae and a preserved shark fin. It was very interesting. Next, we went into another lab thing where there was a bunch of stuff. Then we learned about how to age a shark. And normally they do this through the vertebrae. So they'll take the vertebrae and then count the growth rings on it. But they found that this method might be ineffective because sometimes the growth rings will stop as they get older. So they're working on a new project that involves lasers. Sadly, I don't have pictures of this, but they were basically taking the spines from spiny dogfishes and then using lasers on them to try and see if they could determine the age, which is very interesting. I wonder if that will work because they said spiny dogfish have been more of a challenge to age. So hopefully this works. And finally, we made our way to the wet lab. In the wet lab, they had a recently washed up sandbar shark just sitting on a table there, and they were gonna dissect it soon. So we helped them take the official measurements of it, which was very interesting. This individual shark appeared to be healthy, but that can be determined upon dissection. So when they dissect her, they'll figure out if she's healthy or if she was sick. A lot of sharks that have been washing up have been diagnosed with meningitis, which is a brain disease where the brain gets really big and it does kill them. And they don't know why this has been happening more often. So they've been researching this for a while now, and hopefully we start to get some answers soon. And that's pretty much everything I learned at the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration lab. So I hope you guys continue to save the ocean. Some talk about wanting to get rid of the NOAA labs, and I just think that's really sad. So I hope they stay around a lot longer and they're able to do even more amazing research. Save the ocean, jammers!